Something that we've said on here for years is that it should not take losing to fix issues with this Baltimore Ravens team. And we still do feel that way. And it's not like just because you win, everything is great, everything is fixed, everything is solved, because it's not. It's still okay to point out issues with this team despite them being on the right side of the win column. And it's obviously not in no hating way, but just a, hey, Ravens, we think that you should probably fix this so it doesn't come back to bite you and you're behind later on down the road. And this season is no different. I think one of the biggest issues is when Baltimore Ravens fans, we see something and we notice something and we like, hey, Ravens, y'all should fix this. They should do it like this. And the Ravens are like, no, we got it. And then it comes to turn around. And then when they actually do implement it, it works. And we like, see, this is what we as fans were saying this whole time. Why didn't the Ravens catch this? And one of those issues has been Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell is somebody who we clamored for this offseason. We were like, oh my goodness, Keaton Mitchell gonna be back. We got Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell gonna be up in the mix. Oh my goodness, it's about to go crazy. Who's gonna be able to stop the run game? And then of course you got Lamar Jackson getting in there on the mix too. Oh boy, these Ravens about to go crazy with it. So of course, to start off the season, Derrick Henry, he was doing his thing. Justice Hill, he was involved, but he seemed to be struggling for some reason. Could it be the offensive line? Could it have been him? I think it's probably more so the offensive line, but that's another issue too. But sticking with the running backs for now, we saw Rasheen Ali continue to be active on game day, but Keaton Mitchell inactive, and we were wondering, hello, what's going on with Keaton Mitchell? What's wrong? What's the problem? What's the issue? Because we ain't seeing it. We saw this man in preseason. But anyway, Harbaugh said it's special teams. He said, Keaton Mitchell will tell you that too. It's special teams. He got to get better on special teams. And you're like, So sometimes it can seem like John Harbaugh will hold certain guys back because of special teams. But it's just been a weird energy around how the Baltimore Ravens use a Keaton Mitchell, or really don't use a Keaton Mitchell. So he missed the first 1, 2, 3, 4 games. And then when he finally did play and he finally got some action, Keaton Mitchell looked great. He looked good. So it was a bittersweet thing when we saw Keaton Mitchell out there, because it was sweet because it's Keaton Mitchell. He's on the field. Let's go. And that's been every time he's been on the field. It's like, oh, yeah, we see number 34 on the offense, involved in the offense. Come on, baby. But it's been bitter because we should have been seeing him out there. But then Sunday took it a step further for a lot of us as Ravens fans, because we finally saw Keaton Mitchell on the field during the game against the Vikings. And what made a lot of us frustrated was like, man, Derrick Henry, Vikings is a tough defense. So let's get that out the way early. They are a very great defense. They're a tough defense. And there have been some people complain, oh, man, the Baltimore Ravens, they ain't take no downfield shots. They were doing all these short dink and dunk passes. And we told people, like, hey, it's okay, because the Vikings took that away. They said, oh, you're not going to beat us with no deep passes today. You're not going to beat us with no explosive plays today. But the Baltimore Ravens, they countered it by having a quick passing game. So that's a good thing. Every single Baltimore Ravens game is not going to be flashy and full of all the glitz and glam like we used to and like we love and enjoy. But hey, as long as Ravens find a way to win, that's what's important. As long as they adjust. And that's been something that the Baltimore Ravens have struggled with sometimes, is adjusting. But they did that against the Vikings. But anyway, back to Keaton Mitchell. He got in the game. And he got in the game and he was looking good. They were doing the tosses to the outside of Keaton Mitchell. He showed that speed. He was taking off. Then they did another one. He showed that speed. He was taking off. And then they did a third. And then the Vikings were like, all right, Keaton, you ain't about to get us on this third one. And they stopped him. I think it was in the backfield or close to the line of scrimmage. He ain't really get much of nothing on that play. But then we didn't see him again after that. We did not see Keaton Mitchell again after that. And it's like, what's the issue? What's the problem? Because with Derrick Henry, we know in the game against the Vikings, he wasn't going crazy or nothing. It ain't like Derrick Henry was popping off for like 6-7 yards a carry. And again, against this Vikings defense, I don't think that was expected. But it ain't like Derrick Henry was just going so crazy with it to where you couldn't take him off the field for a definite change of pace back in Keaton Mitchell. Because I was thinking, and I even said it during the live stream, oh my goodness, these Vikings, they've been dealing with Derrick Henry all game. They've been dealing with him, just the physicality of a Derrick Henry, just how tough he is. And then if they had to go chase Keaton Mitchell in the fourth quarter too, oh boy, that would be so frustrating. But it just didn't end up happening. So then with John Harbaugh, yesterday in the press conference, I liked it. I was happy about it. John Harbaugh said, we want to see more of Keaton Mitchell. I'm like, okay, Harbaugh. But then I said, wait. Are you really going to stay true to that? Are you going to honor that? And I get it. It's only one ball to go around. And Harbaugh did say in yesterday's presser, he said, it's hard to take Derrick Henry off the field. Well, I mean, for this past year and a half, on third down, it ain't been hard to take him off the field. Because y'all sure do that. On passing downs, it ain't been hard to take him off the field either. But he said it's hard to take Derrick Henry off the field. But for Keaton Mitchell, you got to get him on there. You got to. And again, it's only one ball to go around, because I saw somebody hit me up yesterday. They said, Isaiah Likely, he need more targets. DeAndre Hopkins, he need more targets. And they said somebody else needed more targets too. And I said, hey, I get it. It's a good problem to have when you got so many weapons. It's a good problem to have. But at the same time, it's tough to get all them targets involved. But with the Baltimore Ravens in the run game, if you have your primary weapon, that being King Henry, and he be doing this thing, he been doing this thing this year. Every game ain't been so pretty, but I've been appreciating it, especially these past two games, and even in the Rams game too, they did it to where Derrick Henry ain't popping off like crazy. Derrick Henry ain't breaking all these long runs, and it ain't going down like that. But they have not been forgetting about him. And I love that from the Baltimore Ravens. And we see that from the Baltimore Ravens. You got to acknowledge that. But with Keaton Mitchell, it's just been crazy because, again, it's still been the same issue. He gets out there. 9 times out of 10, when he's out there, he makes a big play. He gets a nice chunk of yards just like that because he's that fast. And then they take him out for him to never be seen again on offense. Something else that we said before too, I do not think that he should just be on special. I don't think he should be on special teams at all. I don't think he should be the Baltimore Ravens kick returner. I think Keaton, now that to some people they may be like, whoa, you said Keaton Mitchell need to get on the field. I don't think he should be the kick returner. I think Keaton Mitchell should just strictly be one of the Baltimore Ravens running backs and get a lot more opportunity. At kick returner, they had LaJohntay West out there. They had Justice Hill out there. Rasheen Ali was inactive against the Vikings, so he wasn't out there. He normally is. But you got some different options on what you could use for kick returner. But I would much rather Keaton Mitchell just primarily be a running back for the Baltimore Ravens. But that's a whole nother conversation. But Keaton Mitchell is not the only person that this happens with. Because, again, a few days before the Vikings game, we talked about some questionable roster decisions that the Baltimore Ravens have made recently. And again, they've been winning, so that's great. That's amazing. But with their pass rush, and it did look better. It was improvements against the Vikings, so we don't want to take that away at all. But still, another head-scratching decision has been the one with Aeneas Pete. Healthy scratch? Again, against the Vikings. Against the Vikings, healthy scratch. Against the Dolphins, healthy scratch. Against the Bears, I believe he was a healthy scratch too. He just been healthy scratch. And I get it, it's a numbers game. I understand that. But it's like interior pressure, that's the most disruptive kind of pressure that you can bring. But Aeneas Peoples, they ain't been playing him for whatever reason. Again, we don't know what happens at practice. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Well, unless it's in an article on the Baltimore Sun or Baltimore Banner, but we don't know what be going down. So it's a lot that we can't really speak on, but we do know that Aeneas Peoples is somebody that could bring that. But the Baltimore Ravens be like, no. So that was just weird, in my opinion. Now, to flip it to the offensive side of the ball. Again, fans, you can never discredit fans for seeing what they see, because fans, they see stuff. They realize stuff. And again, the offensive line. Falele, Andrew Voorhees, they continue to struggle. And it's been tough to watch. It's so tough to watch. During the live stream of the game on Sunday against the Vikings, I was trying to defend Falele, and then as soon as I tried to defend, something else happened. And it's so tough because you see it just happens a lot. It happens a lot to where sometimes he's just missing stuff. Sometimes he's just missing an assignment. Sometimes he just whiffs on stuff. Sometimes he just get pushed back. It's tough, man. It's tough to see it. But we obviously we hope that he continues to get better. But the Ravens, it's like they refuse to address it. They refuse to make a change there. They like, hey, you know what? We're going to stick with our guy. And it's been one of the craziest things to see, especially when you have Lamar Jackson at quarterback. You should want to have the best protection out there for him. When you got Derrick Henry at running back, you should want to be able to clear the best lanes out for him. When you got Zay Flowers, was a Rashad Bateman, but we'll see when he comes back. But DeAndre Hopkins, Mark Andrews, Isaiah, when you got all these different weapons at pass catcher, you want them to be able to run their route and have a good amount of time. And we know that, look, the whole offensive line has been struggling. Roger Rosengarten, it seemed like he'd taken a bit of a step back this year. Tyler Linderbaum, he been solid. And Ronnie Stanley, he been quiet for the most part. Early on in the season, I think he was struggling for sure. But recently, he been quiet, which is good. Him and Tyler Linderbaum, they've been doing their thing recently, which is great. But a lot of their counterparts, they've been struggling. So one thing I told y'all, I was hoping with the bye week, the Ravens will be like, all right, let's look at this offensive line. Let's see if we need to make any changes. We'll implement those changes. I was hoping. Wasn't counting on it, but I was hoping. Didn't happen. Then I was like, all right, after the Dolphins game, Ravens got a 10-day break. Maybe, hopefully, and this got the trade deadline coming up. Maybe, hopefully, they can assess their offensive line and be like, you know what? This guy is going to actually be better than this guy, or that guy is going to actually be a better feeling for him. But they didn't do that. So, again, a topic of conversation that we've continued to have is, are the Ravens really putting the best 5 out there? And it makes you think, it makes you wonder, but it also makes you frustrated because we see it. Casual fans, they see it. Fans that are deep in the game, they see it. Fans that watch all the film in the world, they see it. Opposing fans, they see it. People not even fans of the team that the Ravens going against, they see it. It seems like a lot of times with the roster, so many people see stuff besides the Baltimore Ravens. And it's weird. Somebody else to stay on the offensive side of the ball. And I'm sure now with Rashad Bateman being out for who knows how long, we're sure we'll find out more tomorrow when the Ravens practice. But somebody else, where it's been weird, Tez Walker. Tez Walker is a receiver who the Ravens oh man, they just ranted and raved about him, especially this offseason. They said Tez Walker, he really took a jump forward or took a leap forward. He been doing this thing. It's okay. So then in the preseason, everything that they talked about, we saw. Tez Walker was catching everything, making all these acrobatic catches in the preseason. He was just doing his thing. Said, okay, Tez, let's go. And then early on in the season, we still saw him in the games, still doing the same thing. He wasn't getting a million catches, but when the ball went his way, he caught it, made a play. All he does is catch big first downs and touchdowns. That's it. But he started to be on the inactive list too. And I know we got Rashad Bateman. We had DeAndre Hopkins, Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, Charlie Kohler, Tylan Wallace. So and then of course we got the run game with Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell whenever they feel like it. But it's a lot of guys on the pecking order for the Baltimore Ravens. But Tez Walker's skill set is something that complements the Baltimore Ravens' other receivers very, very well. And get this, he also plays special teams. So with Tez Walker, it was a head scratcher why he had started to be inactive. And again, numbers game, I get it. It's a numbers game for sure with the roster. But still, I wondered, is it run blocking? I know they love Tylan Wallace as a good run blocker, and then of course he can catch it as well. But I don't know what it is with Tez Walker. But it's just been one of those things where it's like, Now, like we said in yesterday's video, there are some decisions that the Baltimore Ravens make where it's like, like even Carl Lawson. That's another one. Carl Lawson is like, hey, you brought him in. John Harbaugh even said, oh, he's ready to go. He's ready. And then you need a pass rush, but then they didn't play him. And it's like, oh, okay. And we've seen David Ojabo being out there, and it ain't been pretty. Now, shout out to him because he did help on the Vikings' last play, with their last offensive play of the game. So shout out to David Ojabo. But other than that, it's been rough, man. It's been really, really rough. But just his whole career, it has not gone how a lot of us envisioned it when the Baltimore Ravens selected him in the second round. But Carl Lawson, you signed him, and he's been around for a while, but you're like, no. He's ready, but nope. Again, Ravens have been winning. They still been winning. But that's still been an issue with their roster decisions. And like we talked about a couple of days leading up into the game, it's just they can do some very confusing stuff. And again, with them winning, that's great, but they could be an even better team, in my opinion, and I know in a lot of opinions of you guys too, if they just did the right thing. Whew, that felt good to let that out, even though we've been letting that out for all season long. But anyway, now we have my favorite part of the videos where we get to feature your questions. Send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com if you want to take part in it, or you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids if you want to become a Team Keep It Clean patron and show the channel a little extra love and support. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to all the channel members as well. I love y'all, and again, thank you for supporting the way that you do. Let's get into these questions. First one came from my guy T. He said, Ravens keep holding back their best players. Why? Oh, I feel like we about to be on the same page for a lot of this stuff, but let's see what you had to say, my friend. He said, hey, Ingraven, what's good, man? What's happening, T? He said, my name's T. Been rocking with you since 2018. Oh, shout out to you. That's crazy. That's a special year, man. It really was. And now, obviously, you go to Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews came in there. But now, that's a special year because that is the literal year, 2018, where we were still working our regular job, and we ended up getting a promotion in 2018. We had been with the company for like 3 years, got a promotion in 2018, and then in 2018 we also got laid off, and that is what propelled us to be able to just have this blessing to end up being able to do this full time. That was the year that started it. So 2018 will always be an extremely special year for us because it just changed everything. So I appreciate you being around since then. He said, I gotta say, I've always admired your consistency, bro. You've been one of the most reliable voices in the podcast game, always dropping relevant, quality content. Honestly, the only thing that's been as consistent since 2018 is the Ravens' commitment to not making the Super Bowl. I appreciate you, man. Let me just keep going. He said, anyway, I didn't write just to vent, even though this team gives us plenty of reasons. I've got a couple of real questions for you. All right, let's see what he got to say. He said, number one, why do you think this? I appreciate you. First off, I just appreciate how you frame this email. You got it super, super organized. You got it like, thank you for how you, because this makes it super easy to read it too. Anyway, he said, why do you think this team keeps good players off the field when we need them the most? It's similar to what we were just talking about earlier. Very similar conversation. He said, it's been a pattern for a while now. We've got guys with big play potential. This season is Keaton Mitchell and DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, that's another one that it's been weird with DeAndre Hopkins. We joke about it, and we joke about it during the streams and stuff, how with DeAndre Hopkins, he catches like he gets one pass a game. He's guaranteed for one pass a game, and that pass is gonna go for a first down. It's usually about 9 to about 14 yards that his catches are. Normally, I mean, obviously he had the big one against the Bills. I think he had the touchdown against the Browns. Well, they called the touchdown back, I think, against the Browns. But normally, it's been the one catch for about 9 to 14 yards, something like that. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it is with D Hop. And again, it's tricky because he don't really be out there like that. He's not like a full-time player. It doesn't seem. Obviously, the young guys. He did come here to be a supplemental piece. Now he did come here for that because Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. He ain't want to take no food off of that table. Even though Rashad he ain't been eating too much, but he ain't want to. He came here to complement them, not to supplant them. So anyway, he said, but it feels like they don't get enough snaps. Hey, that's what happened. Anything could happen at any single time. I don't know how that feel. My other mic just fell, and I'm using this mic right now. I mean, just to give y'all background, because stuff is falling in the background. But just to give y'all background, I'm using this mic right now because I have forgot to charge up a part of the other mic. But anyway, I know y'all don't care about it. Well, I know some people that's going to care about it, but because I know y'all be noticing everything, which I appreciate. Thank you. Anyway, he said, it feels like they don't get enough snaps until it's almost too late. Is this about saving players for the playoffs? A playbook issue? A coaching philosophy? I just can't make sense of it. I think I don't think it's about saving players for the playoffs. I think that is more of a fan's look at things, because I know there have been a lot of times where we've said too, hey, we should save this play. Like when we signed Jay Alexander, a lot of fans are saying, oh, no, don't use him for the regular season, save him for the playoffs. Now, it did actually seem like the Ravens were doing that because they just stopped playing him. But fans will do that with plays too, like, oh, we should save that play for the playoffs. But anyway, is it a playbook issue? I don't think it's that either. He said it's a coaching philosophy. I can see that. Because this has been a thing with the Ravens for a while. Yeah, and it's just weird. I think it's philosophy. Is sometimes it's special teams, or you don't play special teams, or you don't play special teams good enough, so you ain't gonna be playing. But because, and Harbaugh has said it before, like special teams is obviously big team, and special teams is a big part of the game because we saw what happened. The special teams this past game. But I know with roster decisions, sometimes I'll be, oh well, if you don't play special teams, then your spot is not as valuable as somebody else's who does play offense and special teams, or defense and special teams. But again, we keep mentioning like somebody like that, like, come on now. Anyway, he said number 2. He said, I just can't make sense of it. I can't either. He said number 2, do you think Lamar would benefit more from an offensive coordinator who calls plays from the field? Not really. I don't. To me, I don't think it makes the biggest difference. Because I'm sure they can communicate, but like, cause maybe the only difference would be like Lamar could go to that offensive coordinator like right away on the sideline, like, hey, this is what they're doing, this is what they're seeing, and then he could be like, oh yeah, this is what I see. But from the booth, Todd Monk can get a better visual of everything. He can see everything that much more. So I mean, he look at what Lamar Jackson has done these past 3 years. 2 years ago, ended up winning another MVP. Last year was his best season ever, and one of the best seasons ever for a quarterback just in general. Oh, that how they took that MVP from him is still crazy. But so, and that Todd Monken been in the booth. So, and then this year, Todd Monken's still in the booth. And you see, again, against a really tough defense, you see how they did. How the Ravens did. They still put up 27 points. They still did their thing. And they struggled. But again, it was a tough defense. You got to give them the credit. So, I don't really think him being on the sideline would be much of a difference. But anyway, he said Todd Monken is likely gone after this year. And we saw the same dynamic with Greg Roman. Both prefer staying up in the booth. Maybe it's time for Harbaugh to look for someone who's down there with Lamar, seeing things in real time. Do you think that will make a difference, or is this just the Ravens' way? Okay, well, yeah, we answered that one. But he said, appreciate everything you do, man. Like I said, this is only my second message since 2018. First was when I was worried Marcus Peters might not make it back to the league after his last outburst. Oof. Well, you talking about the one against Harbaugh or something after that? Because, I mean, yeah, I think the Ravens were... No, didn't he go to the Raiders for like a tiny bit? I think he went to the Raiders for like a tiny bit after the Ravens, I think, but it was like in and out, and then that was it, man. That was it, Mark. But anyway, he said, I'll try to be more consistent in sending questions moving forward. No, it's all good, man. You're good, man. But I appreciate you. He said, much love to you and Team Keep It Clean. Until then, and like the Bengals and Browns when it comes to the playoffs, I'm out. Next question came from my guy Albert. He said, Tez Walker. Ooh, it seems like we got a little theme in this episode. He said, hey, Ingraven, hope all is well with you, especially after this third win in a row. Oh, yeah, things are good. They're good. I appreciate you, Albert. He said, I just wanted to reach out and discuss the lack of Tez Walker in these games. Yeah. He said Harbaugh's personnel decisions sometimes are inexcusable. Ooh. And he said, for example, the Keaton Mitchell. This is all him saying. It ain't me. Well, we said it too, and a lot of y'all said it too. Well, we all be on the same page. So anyway, he said, for example, the Keaton Mitchell situation and the lack of his use this season. Time and time again, Mitchell has proven that he is a real weapon, yet they have a hard time finding a way to use him. Touche. Anyway, he said, well, when it comes to Tez Walker, all he's done was catch 4 passes in the NFL, 3 of which are touchdowns, and he's been a healthy scratch. Yeah. He said, now, do you think that with this Bateman injury, that would open up a chance for Tez Walker to get a legit chance? More of an opportunity, a legit opportunity, I can't say. Well, maybe. Because obviously it's going to be Zay Flowers. There should be more DeAndre Hopkins, but will they have him be like more of a full-time receiver now? That's a good question. I don't think so. I think that he will continue to, well, not continue because Tez Walker ain't been out there, but I think he'll share a lot of the snaps. With Zay Flowers' snaps still going to be all the way up, as expected. But I think DeAndre Hopkins will share a lot of his snaps, Tylan Wallace and Tez Walker. Because it ain't going to just be like DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think he's going to be going 50, 60 snaps a game now all of a sudden. No, they ain't going to do that. But I think they'll ramp up, Tez Walker a little bit and Tylan Wallace for sure. With Rashad Bateman being out. Like I said, personally, they still won't use him and use. Oh, I should have kept reading. He said, personally, they still won't use him and use Tylan Wallace instead. No disrespect to Wallace, but at this point, we know what he is. I think that Tez has a huge ceiling and could be a real weapon for the Ravens if they would give him a chance. Time will tell. We'll see against the Browns on Sunday. We'll see. As far as Tylan Wallace, I feel like it's the same thing. I feel like we will never truly know Tylan Wallace because he don't really get the opportunity like that. But then again, we got to think about the Ravens pecking order, the Ravens depth chart. Again, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, those are their top receivers. Then they got the tight ends. They got the run game. So that's important to remember whenever we had these conversations. But with Tez Walker, again, he was somebody that was involved earlier this season, a little bit. But then, they just had him do a disappearing act. Anyway, he said, thanks for reading my email, and hopefully like the Steelers off by the end of the season. I'm out. Just how we planned it. Next question came from my guy Matthew. He said, hey, bro, hope you and your families are doing well. Also, just wanted to share this message with everyone listening. You are valued. You are appreciated. And if you're in a tough spot, things do get better, and you're not alone. That's real right there. That's real, because sometimes stuff could be looking so rough, and it's going to be like, I don't think I'm about to make it out of it, but you just got to keep pushing. That could be one of the hardest things to do, to keep going, especially when things are tough. But keep doing what y'all been doing, man. He said, now, on my question and comment, things are shaping up nicely. Unlike past seasons where we've been able to rest Lamar for a game or two heading into January, this year we'll probably need him on the field through the regular season. Yeah, they do. Yeah, you ain't lying, my friend. Anyway, he said, we typically have our division locked up early, but this year it looks like we'll need to keep full momentum into the playoffs. That's true. Ravens can't take no games off. He said, here's the exciting part. If things break our way, we could have home field advantage for the entire playoffs. Colts, Broncos, Patriots might be top seeds, but they're beatable. Meanwhile, the 6 and 7 seeds, possibly the Bills, Chargers, or Chiefs, could knock those teams out early. That opens up a huge window for us to stay the top seed each round of the playoffs. With Lamar sharp, our defense improving, and a big if the O-line steps up. He said, we have a real shot at the Super Bowl, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. That's an interesting way to put it. So if those top seeds still do end up being top seeds, but the other seeds end up knocking them off, that would sound like you're talking about the Ravens winning their division, so they would obviously get a playoff game at the crib. And then what would you envision them being like? I guess the 3 or 4 seed, right? Because obviously the 1, 2, 3, 4, those would be the division winners, and the 1 seed would be the one with the best record, and the 2 seed the second best record. Yeah, not how it goes, but so yes, you would envision the Ravens being, I guess, the 3 or 4 seed, and then one of those 6, 7 seeds knocking off one of the 1s and 2s, because like in the AFC, like you said it, man, there's nobody where it's like, oh my goodness, boy, they running through everybody. Well, I mean, Jonathan Taylor kind of is, but it ain't no team where it's like, oh, they mopping the floor with everybody. Ain't nobody been like, including the Ravens, but ain't nobody been like that. So AFC is wide open. So what you talking about? It's real. From a 5'8" QB to a 12-yard passer, no excuses these next 2 weeks. Next question came from my guy Anderson. He said, "Dear Ingraven, I really enjoy your channel, man. Hey, I appreciate you, Anderson. Thank you for even watching it." He said, "Keep up the great work. Joe Burrow might be coming back the same week the Bengals play us, so these next 2 games against bad teams are crucial." They certainly are. They really are. He's spot on about that. He said, "I just hope Harbaugh's usual go through the motions mentality against weaker opponents doesn't hurt this team. If we can handle business and get to the Bengals game at 6-5 while they're 3-8, that would be big." It certainly would. It really would. He said, "I just hope the Ravens don't go into this Browns game thinking it's an easy win because of their record. Their offense has been rough. That 5'8" quarterback out there looks like he's trying to throw over a fence. He's near the bottom in QBR, yards per attempt, and air yards." Man. So Ravens play up tight on them receivers because you could have some opportunities. Anyway, he said, "This is a game where Zach Orr needs to dial up some blitzes, not just to win, but to build confidence for the pass rushers. Imagine a guy like David Ojabo getting a sack. That would be huge for his confidence in the whole defensive line going forward." That's true. That's true. We'll see how much he ends up playing because we didn't see too much of him on Sunday. And maybe this will be the game where Carl Lawson makes his debut for the Baltimore Ravens. He said, "We also need to get Derrick Henry a touchdown, not just for my fantasy team, but because he is looking sad on the sideline. I'm concerned about the red zone offense and how we struggle to run the ball down there." That's another one. That's been a big struggle. Red zone offense, but also short yardage offense. Short yardage running with a Derrick Henry. And we got Pat Ricard back too, and it's still been somewhat of an issue. So yeah, you're right. He said, "And as much hate as Falele gets, I find it funny when he's out there with those arms stretched wide like he's playing basketball defense." He be trying though, man. He be trying. You cannot get on him for a lack of effort. So again, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. Something's got to give though. It has to, right? So shout out to Falele. Hope Falele just, again, he keeps improving. Hope the whole offensive line keeps improving. The whole team just keeps improving because it takes everybody.